Hi YouTube, it's Kathy. Excuse this probably terrible lighting. I can't tell, but I can just assume it's going to be terrible because it's nighttime and you all wanted me to do a vlog for the Queer Lit Readathon, so that's what I'm doing. It is just about 9 o'clock my time, which means it's just about midnight Eastern Standard Time, which is when the first Twitter sprint is happening, which is what I'm going to be doing in a few minutes. So I've got my book, I've got some things figured out as to what I can sprint about, I've had some food, and I'm really just ready to do this first tweet. Hi YouTube, it's Kathy and this is the first day of the Queer Lit Readathon. I spent the morning in bed reading. I actually had to get to the first 100 pages of my book before I'd let myself get out of bed and get coffee, and now that I'm at about the 160 page mark, I decided it was time to have a fresh shower so I could talk to you. So technically I started my reading a little bit early because I was hosting the very first Twitter sprint, which was at midnight Eastern time, but I'm on the West Coast. But to keep it fair, I'll just end on East Coast time as well. Last night before I went to sleep, I finished 2 of my 12 reads, so let's talk about those. They were Check Please and Heartstopper, and they're both so adorable. Both of these are available online as webcomics, and I'm going to have to, after the Queer Lit Readathon ends, go online and continue reading them because both of them leave off in cliffhangery type places, and I just need more of all of these characters. The book I've been working on all of today is House of Impossible Beauties. This is possibly the one I was the most interested in getting into as soon as possible, so that's why we're reading it on the first day. This one is 400 pages, but like I said, I managed to get the first 100 done before I even got out of bed this morning, and I'm hoping to finish this today to keep myself on track. Obviously, I'm going to be doing wrap-ups in my weekly entertainment wrap-up of all of these things, so I'm not going to give full synopsises here, but what I want to say about this one is I am thoroughly enjoying it, which seems like a weird thing to say considering its very dark subject matter. It's set in the late 70s and early 80s in New York. It centers around these people that end up being in the House of Extravaganza, which is a drag house. So far, many of the characters have gone through quite a few abuses, which is realistic for the time frame and realistic for the time frame now, actually, to come to think of it. But if you're going into this thinking, oh, I love RuPaul's Drag Race, it'll just be like that. No. And I didn't go into this thinking that. I knew there was going to be hardship, but there is a lot of it, so just trigger warnings if you're ever going to pick this up. I am thoroughly enjoying it so far. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to enjoy it all the way through and absolutely end up loving it. Something else I wanted to mention before I get back into reading is that I have absolutely been loving watching people's TBR videos. There are so many of them. It's also been an absolute delight to see people that I've been watching for years find the readathon, mostly through Adriana's announcement and TBR, and do their own TBRs. Additionally, we've had TBR videos not only in English, but at least one in German and one in Polish. And during last night's Twitter sprint, we had somebody following from Spain, so there are so many different countries that are involved, and it makes me so happy. I think that's all I wanted to update you on for this clip, so I will see you again very soon, maybe once I've finished this book. It'll be dark by then, so filming quality will definitely decrease from shot to shot. Just a little tip, but if you have to make yourself food, audiobooks are a really good idea. It's not a real readathon vlog unless I do an update from my bathroom. It's almost midnight. I finished that entire 400-page novel. I'm going to bed. Another bathroom update, but on a different day. It's Monday night, I went to work today, so I haven't read a whole lot, but I did read before work and also during all of my breaks. I started Hurricane Child, which I'm enjoying so far, but I'm only about a quarter of the way through it, but I am about to host Twitter sprints, so I'm going to go do that and mostly just try to read my face off and try to finish this book today, and if I do that, tomorrow is the day that I can read the least, so I'm going to pick up my smallest book for tomorrow, and then on Wednesday I'll pick up whatever my next smallest book is, because Thursday and Friday I have off, and those are dedicated reading days. Alright friends, it's just before bedtime on Monday night, but I've finished Hurricane Child, which I am having mixed feelings about. Like, I enjoyed it, but also, yeah, it's gonna take a little bit longer to sort out my feelings, and I really need to go to bed because I've been up late the last 2 nights reading, and I definitely felt it today at work, so it's just a little bit past 11. I'm gonna try to get a good night's sleep so I can go to work tomorrow. Tomorrow is my one big day where I can't really read too much, so I'm going to read Fair Play, which is the smallest thing that I have on my TBR, and hopefully I get through it just to keep myself on pace, because at this point I still have 8 books left. Somehow, when I was returning the audiobook that I finished listening to today, I also returned What If It's Us, which was my audiobook for this week. So, and I couldn't get it back because obviously there's a holds list, so I'm on the holds list again, but I'm gonna get it in like 69 days. Because that one was a reread and that's what I was using for my free space, I've decided to reread Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe, mostly because Lin-Manuel Miranda reads the audiobook, so why wouldn't you? And also because that book was pretty stinking great and I'd love to listen to it again. So I'm going to. But for now, sleep. So it's Tuesday night and I just got back from my best friend's house because on Tuesdays I go to my best friend's house and we watch really old seasons of Survivor. So we just finished Fiji, which is season 14. We're currently on the 37th season, so this is like a decade ago. Anyway, that's why Tuesday is the day where I get the least reading done because I work all day. I actually work a split shift, so I open one library, close the other library, go to my best friend's house. She feeds me. It's great. But now it's like after 10 o'clock and I need to finish that book that I've been working on, which is Fair Play, which should be fine. I think I have like 30 pages left because the book is only 100 pages, so I should be able to finish that and then go to sleep. I'm so tired, but that's fine. I also picked up my hold for Bingo Love, so now I have all of the books that I need for the readathon in my possession, at least the ones that I still need to read because I've, you know, returned the ones that I've already finished. Also a funny story, but I accidentally returned What If It's Us, which put a crimp in things, so I downloaded what I thought was Aristotle and Dante. It was actually The Inexplicable Logic of My Life, which I have also already read, but I wanted to listen to Lin-Manuel Miranda, so I went back in, returned Inexplicable Logic, and then downloaded Aria and Dante. Because the covers are similar enough that I was just like, oh, I know that cover. I know it's Benham and Alaris Signs. That's a book that I love. Go. And sure, they're both great books, but Aristotle and Dante, obviously the better one. So I've been listening to that today as well. Why, hello. Fancy meeting you here on my floor. So it's Wednesday. I should be at work right now, but while I was there, people were like, aren't you freezing right now? Because they were bundled right up. And I was like, no, I think I'm running a fever, actually. I'm pretty warm, so they kind of made me go home. Well, they didn't make me. I just kind of told my boss that I'm, you know, sick and have been since October and should probably not be there. He agreed. However, while I was at work, I read all of Bingo Love. I read about half of it before work started, and then I read the other half on my break, and I almost had to like throw it across the room with the last panel because it made me feel like I was going to start crying in the break room, which is just not what I wanted to do with my day. Either way, really enjoyed. We'll probably end up giving it a 4-star though, because there are these 2 different sections where it's like, go find this extra content somewhere else, and I'm like, no, like, why would you do that? And I know that it's being updated so that if you get the jackpot edition, all of that is in there and you don't have to like go find this web exclusive content. But yeah, I just found it very strange that 2 separate points, it's like, hey, go find out what's missing from this plot right here. With the first one, I knew exactly what that story was going to be. I could tell from the one panel we saw of her husband in whichever war he was in, because I don't remember. I'm sick, okay? Like, so like, I knew what his story was gonna be. I could tell from that one panel, but it's still annoying. That means that I've finished 6 of my 12 books so far. I'm also listening to a book, so I'm partway through that one, and I also just started reading My Two-Spirit Journey, which is really good so far. I was reading it in the bath, which is why I look like this. And then my roommate and his friend had been playing Dr. Mario, but now they have gone, so I could actually film this clip. So I got out of the bath for you guys. That's how much I am dedicated to doing this vlog. I could have stayed in that bath the next 2 hours, but I'm out. I'm gonna read in bed. Try not to rest my head on things because I just get blue hair dye everywhere. If you didn't see my TBR, this is an autobiography of an Ojibwa Cree elder who identifies as Two-Spirit, which is one of those identities that you just see left off the acronym. But if it is there, it's there in the form of a 2. And since I'm still fairly near the beginning, we're going over her childhood. We also went over her grandmother's childhood because she was raised by her grandmother. And let me tell you, this is fascinating life stuff because we have lived very different lives. Slight snack break and update before all of the sun goes away. But I just realized that my library had Girls of Paper and Fire as an audiobook. It was just released into our e-collection and I snagged that up. So there's a good chance that I will be reading 13 books this week. And if I do, I will cover all of the spaces. I could probably actually do that with fewer than the 13 books, so I'm going to have to look at what I still have left to read and then maybe strategically pick. But yeah, might be reading 13 books this week. Hi, it's Thursday morning. Last night I finished My Two-Spirit Journey. This morning I finished Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. I started Girls of Paper and Fire, So basically I just need to finish that, and then also Quicksilver, which is my Ace Rep one, and then I kind of have all of the spaces covered. I technically still want to read In Other Lands to cover my See Yourself because it seems fantastic. So I think I'll do that, but just in case something goes terribly awry, I really only have these 2 books that I really need to read, and then everything else is gravy. Just in case you missed what my bathroom looks like, we're back in the bathroom for another late night update. I think I already told you this morning, but I finished my audiobook, so I've started my 2nd audiobook, technically my 3rd because I was halfway through last when the readathon started. If I finish this one, I'll have read 2.5 this week, but I'll have to wrap up 3. I also read all of Quicksilver, so I've just started reading In Other Lands. As soon as I finish Girls of Paper and Fire, I've completely blacked out the bingo board, but I'm hoping to at least finish In Other Lands, and then hopefully also finish Wandering Sun, and this is kind of an epic love story, but so much reading and my eyes are so sore, so maybe not. But I do have all of Friday off work, and then I only work a short shift on Saturday, although I did start the readathon at 9 p.m. the night before the readathon because I was doing Twitter sprints, so in theory I need to stop at 9 p.m. on Saturday, so we'll see. Basically, that's what I'm saying, but I'm definitely gonna get a blackout. I set up my usual place for a clip I need to send to somebody else for a collab, so I might as well do my update here. Hi, it's Friday morning, it's almost noon. I've listened to a bunch of Girls of Paper and Fire because I was listening to it during my Twitter sprints this morning, and I've read some more of In Other Lands. It is really funny, but the book is also over 400 pages, so although I want to finish it all today, I might not be able to do that. And then after that I have 2 more books on my list, not including the audiobook, which I will finish probably on the way home from work tomorrow. And I don't think I'm going to get through both of them. No, I'm going to say it right now. I'm not going to get through both of them. There's a chance that I will still make 12 books on this TBR and not 13 because I added this 13th book. But by 9 p.m. tomorrow, yeah, not with working tomorrow. But I'm still going to read my face off until then. Bathroom update. It's a little past 11 o'clock and I didn't finish a book today. I did read a lot of In Other Lands. It's about a 437 page book, so I didn't read a whole 400 page book today. Kind of hoped I would, but didn't. But that's probably because I was also listening to Girls of Paper and Fire, which I have about 5 hours left of. So I'm thinking I can get these 2 books done tomorrow. Which means that I'll read 11 books out of my expanded 13-book TBR, which isn't so bad, but also because it's so close to like doing everything that I wanted, it's slightly disappointing somehow. Please talk me out of being disappointed about this because that's ridiculous. I'm going to bed now. We've made it to our final bathroom update. It is 7:30 p.m. on Saturday, which means I technically have an hour and a half left in my allotted readathon time because I started 3 hours early so I could do Twitter sprints at the beginning of the week, and I finished my 11th book. So I did 11 out of the 13 books on my TBR, which is pretty spectacular. Actually, I'm pretty proud of myself, and it's not like I don't have those other 2 books sitting next to my bed waiting for me to read them tomorrow or the next day or the next day. Obviously, my weekly entertainment wrap-up for week 101 will have my thoughts on all of these things, but for now, I think that I'm gonna go watch Dumplin' because it came out yesterday, and now that I'm done reading, I can finally do that. Thank you so much to everyone who participated. If you vlogged or if you have any wrap-up of the Queer Lit Readathon, please let me know about it so I can find it and watch it and just be very excited about it. And of course, Rogan and I will be back in June with the next round, and we will have a new co-host. If you've read any of these books, let me know about it down in the comments below. On the way down to the comments, if you hit that subscribe button, that would be very nice of you. You can like and share this as you see fit, and I will see you very soon. Bye!